Okay, the subject this evening is going to be business plans. This is going to be a short chapter because I think it's extremely important, so I separated it so that it was all by itself, so we could talk about setting up business plan, setting up your goals. Like we said on the last lesson, the most important thing we're going to do is set up a small business and run a small business. And I think you need to have an awareness of all the things that have to go into that process. It's not as simple as getting a vehicle and buying a cell phone. There's all sorts of things in terms of continuing education, and the purchasing of different types of tools, etc., the type of marketing you're going to do. There's a lot of things involved with this. And it's always been my contention is if it's up here, it's going to get mixed up with all that other crap that you have up here. So start a real business plan. It doesn't have to be complicated, but lay out on a sheet of paper what your goal is for the next 6 months for your business. Be realistic. You have to understand your situation. Everyone in this room has a different situation. Everyone in this room has a dollar amount that they'd like to make extra at the end of each month. Some of you, maybe that's an extra grand. And so this, the whole process costs you $3,000 to start your own small business, and 4 inspections or 3 inspections and you're already grand up. 3 months you got all your money back. And now that, so you may have very light expectations, which can be bad. Or maybe you want to start a company and then have 5 guys working for you and you need 50 inspections coming in each month to keep those 5 guys going. Those 2 different extremes require different plans. And if you're floundering around here in the middle and you don't know what you want, and then if you don't know what you want, you don't know how you're going to get there, what I'm suggesting you do is sit down and have a talk with yourself. Because that's important. Knowing what you can't get to some place you don't know where you're going to. So pick where you're going to get to, and then make decisions on what you're going to have to do to get there. And I think it was Mao that said that that longest journey starts with the first step, and then make it an achievable goal on the first day. Make it an achievable goal for the first week. And before you know it, you're going to be 4 months into a year's business plan, and then you may want to reevaluate. But you can't get there unless you start making the plans here. That's the value of the business plan. I mean, there's all sorts of psychobabble, and it's all absolutely true about envisioning where you want to go, or you can't get there. If you don't see it, you won't make it. All those are true. Every one of them say it a different way. I believe, based upon what's happened to me and Joe and many other guys, I see it all the time in students that come through the program. I don't mean to overstate this, but this job is fantastic. It's life-changing. It's changed Joe's life, it changed my life, and why was that? Because of the low buy-in price and the opportunity to work your way into it. I didn't have to go away for 6 months worth of training someplace at a certain cost that I couldn't afford, and then mortgage the house. I didn't have to buy a franchise. I got to start at my own pace and work up to my own abilities. And the whole time, do you think I started off at the beginning knowing all the things I needed to know? No. I'm learning every freaking day. And I think for at least 6 years I didn't understand double taps. But did double taps, not knowing what a double tap properly, how it affected, did that stop me? You don't need to know everything, but you need to plan for everything. All I want to tell you to do is if you go home and you think Dan Osborne is just crazy because he thinks I got a plan, well then you're crazy. You do have to plan. You can't get to there from here without a plan, and then building in goals along the way. And I don't know anybody that gets from point A to point Z without planning the way that walk goes. Now, what we put in this book are all sorts of different options on what your business plan could have, but I can't tell you what you need because you're the only one that knows what you need. So I'd like for you, and I'm not going to make a homework assignment out of it. I think that's bull. Nobody's going to do it, and I won't remember it next week anyway. Unless somebody sends me an email, and then it'll be in my in-basket, and then I'll never forget it until I click the delete button. And I don't click the delete button until I've done something with it. But you have to start thinking about doing some of these things to be successful. All I'm asking you to do is consider writing yourself a basic small plan of what your goal is, how much you'd like to make, how many inspections that is, and give 2 or 3 options as to how you're going to get there. A part of our marketing is multiple different ways of bringing in new business. After you've heard our whole marketing strategy in terms of bringing in the business, what I want you to do is then make your business plan based upon what you saw as a marketing strategy from us, and then actualize it. I'll give you a quick example. Well, none of my examples are quick, but I'll try to make it quick. First thing I did was I found 15 real estate offices that were in my general area. I wrote their names and addresses down. I put them in groups of 5, 5, and 5. On my way into my real job, I stopped at Dunkin' Donuts and I bought a dozen donuts. I'm not going to go through in this lesson what I said when I walked through the door with a dozen donuts. We'll get to that next week, okay? But I had 15 offices that every day on my way into my real job, I stopped at an office and I dropped off donuts and I said hi to the manager. And she may have a question, she may not. Hey Dan, how are you? Fine, go, check my cards, make sure all my business cards are there, and etc. Brochures, and went on to work. The next day, number 2, the next day, number 3, next day, number 4, next day, number 5. 15 offices of just going in, dropping off donuts with my card. It sits in the lunchroom. People are eating them. Where are these come from? Oh, his card's on that box. 3 weeks in a row. Then I start the cycle all over again. It's costing me what? A dozen donuts is costing me $4, $5? I don't know. Whatever. That was my marketing strategy. And within about 4 or 5 weeks, I started being called the donut man, or 2 or 3 cycles. The donut guy's here, and now you're kind of a familiar face. I'm non-threatening, I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. But now I had a routine. I had phone calls going down the road at my other job. Hi, I'm Joe with Realty USA. I'm sitting here eating one of your donuts. I'm new in the business, and I need a home inspector. Bingo! My target is new home inspectors, and guess where new realtors? Guess where new realtors hang out?
At the office.
Reading books. Where are the seasoned realtors?
They're also in office.
No, they're sitting at home working out of their house. Do I give a crap about them? Not at all. The guy I want, the lady I want, is sitting in the office reading her texts and her manuals, studying for all the things that they have to study for. Huh? So that's where my donuts are. Sounds corny, but I had a business plan of starting off, incorporating my regular job, and what could I do every day that would add on to it. So those 15 offices were on my hit list. Some offices paid off big time, other offices I spent a year, every 3rd week, bringing in $6 worth of donuts and never got one freaking phone call. But I don't look at it that way. I spend X amount of money a month on my marketing strategy, and I got 2 inspections out of it. 2 inspections is $900. I invested $200. 200 out of 900 on starting off a business plan? Business? Is that bad?
Oh, that's good.
That's right. And what did it take? I had a plan, and I stuck to the plan. Sticking to the plan. Doing it. It's field tested, it works, and I got lines of guys that say, donuts are stupid, but. Or calling on open houses is stupid, but. It works. There's all sorts of different ways to do it. You have to commit and make a plan based on your life of what you can do. And then follow through on it. Because I know every one of you know you can be successful at this, and I know that every one of you are going to be challenged to market and market successfully. You've already heard my speech about, I want you to succeed for all the business reasons I have, continuing education, house facts, etc. This school and we are committed to you being successful. And if you don't call me when you're having a problem I can solve, then you're the idiot. Correct?
Yeah.
And you don't know if I can solve it without,
Calling.
thank you. And if you have a problem with house facts, you don't know if I can solve it without,
Calling.
thank you. I got a sidekick. Okay? Make a plan, put it together, think about it seriously. You paid me money, and we're going to pay that back by helping you succeed, because this is life-changing. Now, I know everybody's going to have shit happens. Shit happens all the time. That's why I always have a plan B for my plan A. I don't have plan A's unless I have plan B's, because crap happens. Shit's going to happen, and maybe, as has happened to past students, they got sick, or their wife got sick, or they had to move out of the area. And that happens. We all have that stuff going on. But make your best plan that you can do today and try. And then if something gets in the way and you're delayed a year, don't hesitate to come back to us. Because once you're in this school and you want to go practice on a mock inspection, we don't kick people off of mock inspections. We don't ask for more money. You bought membership into this. And now we are here to support you. Is that right, Joe?
Absolutely.
Do I hear an amen?
Amen.
So we're here for you. We want to help you. But you have to start it. You have to make the business plan. You have to get your goals in line, and you got to do what you can do to be successful, and we'll do everything we can to help. Okay? Thank you.